Hello people! Today we're going to the Summer of Love. This set, I'm really loving how it came out. So let's get started. I'm starting off with a white base. These are extra long coffin nails. I'll be starting with the white base. I was really excited for these. I just love how they came out. Kind of wishing I had them on my own nails, but I suppose I could always redo them. Anyway, while you're watching me put this polish on, I forgot to tell you guys last time, I tried out some of the new, the solid gel glue when I put my tips on. I used polygel, but, for the nails, but I used the lazy girl method, whereas I glue the the half tip, just the tip on there, and then polygel on top. Well, a couple of my nail beds kind of grow at an angle, so every time I'm gluing my nails on, inevitably I get one on there crooked, and then if it's not real bad, I just leave it, and then as I'm looking at it, it's crooked. So I really like the fact that I could put them on, and then right before I go in the lamp, I can adjust them and straighten them, and then cure them. That worked out really nice, and so far nothing's coming off, and it's working good. So I'm happy with that. That was a nice find. Okay, we moved on. We're going to do green, and oh, that reminds me. Last time I told you we were going to have yellow nails. Well, I lied, I guess. When I originally pulled the stuff for this set, I had a pale yellow, and then I had taken it out and decided to feature the green and the dark pink instead. So there's not really much yellow to these, although next time for sure I'm doing a sunflower set, so there will be yellow, I think, in some form. I'm debating on whether I want to do them on a yellow base or go with like a nude and a brown theme for the nails, but we'll see what I end up doing. But there will definitely be sunflowers, I can tell you that much. Okay, going on to the second coat. I have already cured those guys, and these two accent nails will have a second coat of their same color, obviously. And then the white ones are going to get foiled, so we're going to be putting foil glue on. I'm going to do just a thin layer of this, and I want to make sure I coat the entire nail all the way to all the edges and keep it thin. And I'm only going to do 2 of these right now because I don't like to do more than 2 at a time, because if it takes me a really long time to get the foil on and they sit there for a while, it seems like it doesn't want to stick as well. So those 2 have been foil glued, and now I've cured all that. And this is the foil I'm going to be using. I really liked this design. I think it really needs a long nail for it to work. On a shorter nail, you wouldn't be able to get very much of the design on there. But anyway, make sure you're going to get it lined up exactly where you want it before you touch it onto the nail, because as soon as it touches the nail, it's going to lift that design off of the transfer paper. And I did not do that when I did the thumbs, which you're not going to see, but the first thumb I did, of course I laid it down on there not quite close enough to the edge, so I had like a 1/8 of an inch gap where it didn't come to the edge of the nail, so I had to take it back off, strip the nail all the way back down, and restart that one over again. But we're going to keep rubbing it. First you're going to press it down on the whole nail, then you're going to rub it. I'm using a silicone tool for this one this time. I did manage to get the end pieces glued onto my silicone tools now, and they seem to be staying on. I ended up using wood glue that my husband had in the garage, and that seems to have worked better. As I know nail glue definitely didn't work, because I had tried that already a few times. Also, you're seeing me struggle with this one a little bit. At some point it comes off of the nail stand, and then I realized it's a lot easier on these longer nails to work with it off of the nail stand, putting the foils on. So once I got it initially stuck on there, I did the rest of them with it off the stand. The shorter nails, that's a bit harder because you don't have a lot of nail to grip onto and hang on to while you're doing the rest of the rubbing. But when you see it start lifting clear around the edges like that, then you know it's doing well. I just wanted to make sure my edges were good because that's usually where I have the most problem. And this bears repeating, but I will say it again, don't yank it off like a band-aid. Go slowly in case there's an area that didn't transfer, and then you can just easily lay it back down and stick it back on and press that missing part in. If you've taken it all the way off, then you got to try to line everything up perfectly, and that's kind of hard. Now I'm going to do one more, and that's all you're going to see me do. I have sped this section up, so you don't need to sit here watching me rub it forever. Give it a rub like it's a genie lamp and you're trying to get that genie out. Okay, and once I'm going to press it all on there, I will start rubbing it a little and then I will take it off the nail stand. This foil was really easy to work with. It was nice. Everything worked out beautifully. This day I didn't have any issues. I was kind of worried when I started it because I have done full coverage on long nails before and I had a lot of problems getting things to all transfer. So I was leery of that. I used a leopard print for that one. So this time I was really happy because everything worked nice. I didn't have any problems. Except for that little bit right there that doesn't want to get off. But we will just do the same thing on here as we did with the other one. And we're just going to keep on rubbing. Okay, keep on going. This is sped up too. I probably don't need to be going as long as I am with the rubbing of it, but I like to make extra sure that everything is on there. Okay, we're starting to get that off of there. Of course, now you can't see it. Okay, and there we go. A nice clean void in the foil transfer paper is what I like to see. And then that one's done and off we go. Okay, I'll do the rest off camera and there's where we are so far. Now I'm going in with the top coat and I am using my tempered top coat on this. I'm going to give it a nice coat all the way around, especially towards the edges. I want to make sure that the foil is protected. And we're going to do this top coat on all of it. And just carrying on, adding top coat. Okay, and we're keeping on. These long nails I have to do individually off the stand. I can't do them while they're on the stand because I can't get down into the side bits very well. And this should be the last one on here. Okay, and I'm not sure what I was going to do there, but okay, that one needed a little bit smoothing out. And they're going to go in for curing, and bam, they're done. Now we're going to do the matte top on them. And the reason I'm doing the hard top first and then the matte is because I want to make sure everything is sealed in very nicely. Plus it just gives them a little bit more, you know, firmness, I guess. Let me get my matte on there. I'm going to do a generous coat of the matte top. I don't want to be stingy and be brushing it thin because then it'll look streaky. I always have better luck if I put it on kind of heavier. And make sure you get the whole thing all the way to the edges, otherwise you're going to have shiny bits that are showing that you don't want. And the last one. Obviously I've sped this stuff up some. Okay, and those are ready to cure. In they go, and now we're moving on to the embellishments. I'll be using these pre-made peach colored flowers. We got some of these little tiny flowers, which I'm going to use the yellow and maybe one or two white ones. Some of these dark pink ring beads. Some hot pink crystals. Some yellow crystals. And a couple of sizes of these light green ones. And now we're ready to go. Now, I have, oh yeah, and caviar beads. This time we're doing gold. I have sped up some of this section because it got to be very time consuming doing this part. It did take me a good while to get all these embellishments in here. Now, what I wanted to end up with was a cluster that was kind of loosely based. I didn't want it super tight packed together. So that's why we're doing it like this. I'm going to try to get the glue in the areas where I know things are going to go. I will have to add some more later as I go along. But we're going to do this whole thing in one go. If you don't want to do all of it at once, you can do some of it, cure, and then add some more. It's just easier for me to just do it all in one time. Okay, little tiny flowers on, and now we're going to add one bead there, and then we're going to go with crystals. And I may have to break into my other pot of that the gem glue. This one has gotten rather thick because it's sitting there on my desk while I'm working with this stuff, and it's open. And my desk lamp is an LED lamp, so it's slowly been kind of curing, and it's kind of got like a skin on top of it, and I have to break through to get to the gluey part. But I will use it as long as I can get it to use and have it still work for me. I hate throwing stuff away and wasting anything. I guess I'm cheap that way. Okay, we're just going to keep adding crystals until I'm happy. We're going to add quite a few on here. Other than the general idea of what the shape of this was going to be, I really went in with no real game plan for these. I'm just putting them on where I feel like putting them, or where I feel like they need to go. Oh, there was a hair on that end of my tool. And one thing I noticed about these that I think what really makes this come together is when we get to the caviar beads. I did go a little crazy with them on here, and I ended up using 3 different sizes of them. And now we got to add a little bit more glue, and as you can see, my glue has run down from the tip where it started to part way down you know, that metal bar part. And some more glue, a little bit dots of glue gonna go in the flowers. And we're going to be ready for the caviar beads. This is going so much faster when I'm watching it sped up. You guys, this took me so long to do these. I'm always amazed at how long it does take to do this, because there's really not that much to it. You're just, gluing stuff on, but the time kind of adds up. And I'm just kind of filling them in places where it's empty. Those were the tiniest ones. Now I'm moving on to the bigger ones. These are the largest of the three sizes I'm going to use. And once again, I'm just filling them in places where I feel like they need to be. Nope. Some of them just didn't want to cooperate. And bearing in mind too that none of this is cured yet, so it's all moving around still, which is kind of good for me. Oh, we need a little more glue, because sometimes where I start off with something, I may not want it there. I may move it around slightly. Okay, now I'm going to switch to the medium-sized ones. Okay, we're just going to keep adding them. Another crystal in there. And another one. And another one. There's a lot of stuff on this guy. I think it turns out in the end really cool though. I really liked how it came out. I kind of laid it when it was done. I laid it over my own nail just to see how it would look. I don't know how people can function with the nails that are that long. I really couldn't do it. I mean, I can get by with mine are medium length, and that's about as long as I can handle. Any longer than that, and I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the stuff that I can do now. On top of which, I'd probably end up injuring myself somehow with them. Especially the stilettos. Okay, we're just going to keep poking them up in there, filling them in. A little more glue, a little bit more. And now I've gone back to the small ones. I'm just going to pop a few more of those in. A couple on the end. And a little bit more. At one point I finally had to kind of stop myself. I'm like, all right, we cannot completely cover this in caviar beads. That's going to be enough. But they did fill in a lot of stuff, and I think they made it look really nice. At least I think so. Okay, I think I'm done. That will be in for curing, and now we're just going to do this other one. There's not going to be as much on this one, so it'll go quicker. Get my glue on there basically where I want it. Okay, and crystals. Crystals, crystals, crystals. I think at some point I'm going to do a set that's going to be pretty much all bling on it, just for the heck of it. Oh, that one. We need glue. We need more glue. Okay. It's been rather pleasant around here this week so far. It's only been in the 80s, the high 80s all week, so that's like a nice change of pace for what we'd been having. Unfortunately, next week we're going to be back in the 90s, and towards the end of the week back up into triple digits again. But I keep telling myself, well, we only got about another maybe month and a half of this, and then it will start to cool down to more reasonable temperatures. I don't know if it's because I'm older now and I've got hot flashes to deal with, but I really have grown to dislike the summertime. It's just too freaking hot all the time. Like, the whole summer I'm sitting around damp and sweaty, and I hate that. Okay, we're just going to go ahead in with the beads. Lots of caviar beads. Caviar beads were my friend that day. I don't know what happened with that one bunch of green crystals that I've got there. There was a bunch of them that were all like stuck together in a wad. I don't know how that happened. Okay, we should almost be done with this one now. Almost there, I think. Just a couple more. Look at that cat hair on my mat there. Dagnabbit. I don't know how I didn't see that while I was working. I have one cat that has longer hair, and that is one of his hairs. I could tell. My Vladimir. Alright, I think we're done with this one. It's going to go in for curing. There it goes. Alrighty then. The other one's done. Back out. Okay, moving on. This is the home stretch now. I'm going to go in here with the matte top again, and we're going to clean up around the edges of here. Cover up any of the gluey mess that I made. Being very careful not to get this on the crystals or anything else because it's matte, and that will just not make it look nice. There was a spot right there that I kept thinking was a chunk of like dried top coat, and it wasn't. It was a chunk of glue that had cured, and so I couldn't get it off. And these little dibs and dabs in there, and that can be ready to cure. And then we will have this other one where we're going to do this other one. Same thing. And then we're just going to smooth it out. And then I will pop that into cure. Okay, and there we are. There's the whole finished set. If you like them, I'd really appreciate it if you could give me a like. And if you want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I upload a new video every Saturday. And that is just about all I have for you this time. I hope you liked them. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.